Hello everyone, this is Rick and welcome to Astral Club. This is Astral Healing and Peace Negotiations. Before we get started real quick, we've got a couple of new patrons on Patreon. Michael Ian is an Astral Scout and Nora Murphy is an Astral Master. And they'll be supporting the work of Astral Club, and they will be able to watch the videos in advance on Sunday. No commercials, and there'll be an email where we can talk back and forth. Next up, private lessons if you'd like to learn how to astral project or increase your own projections and your ability to control them, as well as the quality and the length of time. I'd be more than glad to help you out, and you'll find a link to Patreon in the description and an email to contact me about private lessons in the description as well. Okay, let's get started. I was summoned by my angel just the other day when I astral projected, and I found myself in a room with my angel, and it was very nondescript. It was larger than the conference room we used to meet in, but other than that, there wasn't much to remark upon. You could tell he was just there to meet with me, and he told me that there, of course, would be an upcoming peace conference, and that all of the combatants, that be their side, the master's side, and our side, will be arrayed, and they will all attend the conference site to make sure that, I guess, everybody is on the level, and that I was invited by name. And he just kind of looked at me expectantly, and I said, okay, I'm not coming. He goes, well, you have to come. I said, no, I don't. I said, I don't have to do anything like that. The master is a snake. If you trust him, if we trust him, he will bite us when we least expect it, when we let down our guard. It's ridiculous. There are no peace negotiations with someone power hungry, unscrupulous like the master. My angel friend looked at me and kind of shook his head a little bit and said, we have to give him the chance to be able to settle this in some sort of a way, because this war has been bleeding into a lot of different planes, a lot of different dimensions. It's bled into our own. I don't have to tell you about some of the details, some of the things that are going on here in our world that have been a side result of the war that's currently going on. And this may be a way to end all of that. I said, look, I will attend if it'll make you happy and feel better, but I can tell you right now that I have zero confidence in this whole process. So I just want to say that up front. And, my angel friend accepted it. I told him that I had a couple of errands to run before this upcoming conference occurred. I wanted to visit Haven again. This is really the first I've been talking about it with you guys, but in my dreams, I have had connections with Haven. It seems they're able to communicate with me at times in the dream state. I was able to tell them about the monk, which they already knew from the scan that they had done of me, and that he needed healing, and that I invited them to heal him. And I asked them, would I have to bring him to them, or could I just give him the ident? And they said, no, in this case, it's not necessary, because they scanned me. And since he was a close friend of mine, they have his ident as well. So what they can do, and what they did do, is they sent out this invitation to the monk, and he accepted it from them, and then they then summoned him to their planet, where they have been healing him for some time. I wanted to stop by and just check and see how things are going. And then secondly, I want to stop by and talk with my friend Ken on the Gray's planet. And that's when my angel friend told me that, do you realize that Ken, who you call Ken, he's a very powerful figure on the Gray's planet. And I said, really? I just thought he was the head of this agricultural area. And my angel said, yes, now, but he volunteered to take that over. He had been a major commander of the Gray Forces for a long time. So he had quite a bit of pull. And so I said, okay, well, thanks for giving me that clue. But I need to leave now because I have some of these errands to take care of. So, once again, my angel friend confirmed that I was going to attend this farce of a peace conference with all of the different arrayed forces of the Master and our allies all at this conference. And I said, oh yeah, I'll be there. Wouldn't want to miss a big peace conference like this. My angel friend just kind of ignored me. He got into that phase where he's got other things to worry about, and my sarcasm was just getting a little bit too deep. So I said goodbye and I departed. I then went to Planet Haven, and whenever I appear there, it's just such a vacation. I can't think of a better. I'm glad I named it Haven, because number one, I couldn't repeat what they call it, but I think Haven fits pretty well from an English standpoint. This place, it's so beautiful and peaceful. The colors are so vibrant. Everything seems to be in harmony, and it's just such a lovely and peaceful place. And it can be quite a beautiful rest stop to visit from time to time. When I arrived, I announced my presence, and I was met by some Havenites. And I asked them how my friend the monk was doing, and they said that he is doing very well, that he is healing rapidly, and they're building upon the work that the astral healing plane had done, but they also borrowed upon the injury that I suffered as well, and they are using that as information to help the monk's healing process as well. I asked them, I said, how did you send for the monk, and did he travel to you, or did you bring him to you? They said that the invitation was extended, and when it was accepted, they summoned him because they had his ident from when they scanned me. So I said, wow, you were able to just summon people from anywhere in the galaxy if you have their ident like that to this planet? And they said, yes. I said, so you could do that for me as well? And they said, most definitely. As long as it's, fine with you, okay with you, yeah, we most definitely can do that. And I asked them, I said, have we established some sort of a link? And at first, I got confusion, as if they didn't quite understand my question. I said, well, let me put it another way. Do we have a way now that we can communicate with one another? Oh, and they said, well, yes, of course. When we established our connection with you, you became part of our communication network. And they said it like it was just, yes, of course. They reacted like if I'd ask a question here on Earth. Well, if I turn on the light, it comes on, right? I mean, so it was just, they didn't understand it at first because it was just an obvious thing to them. So they said, yes, you're now part of our communication network. And I said, yeah, I can definitely sense the planet from time to time, but I've been having these dreams where I communicate with you. And they say, yes, that's the easiest time for us to communicate with someone like you who's still in a very, primitive, lower level physical world. It's easier for them to establish contact while I'm in this, dream state. Because I've been having these experiences where just having a regular dream, and then suddenly I can feel, smell, taste Haven, and it's almost like something intrudes into my dream, but in the nicest possible way. I become lucid, and then I'm there on the planet. So they're hijacking my dreams, like I said, in the nicest possible way. And that's how they've been communicating with me. And for them, it's not a big deal. It's just part of who they are. Now that I'm part of the communication network, it is the way it is. I mean, if I asked to be removed, they could do that. But I could tell that from their standpoint, it would be the equivalent of someone here in the physical saying, I don't want a television, I don't want a computer, I don't want any way to communicate with anyone else. It would seem to the average person that would be a very bizarre thing to wish for. At any rate, so this is something that was news to me and certainly was very interesting. So I said, yes, please continue to monitor me. If you ever sense that there's distress or what have you, you have my permission to pull me back to this wonderful place anytime you choose. So I asked if there was anything else that I could do for my monk friend, and they said no, at this stage he's deep in the healing process and really shouldn't be disturbed. And I said, that's fine, I completely understand. So once again, I thank them, of course, for everything they've done for now not only myself but also my friend the monk. And I hold out great hope that their healing temple will be just what he needs to finish off the severe wounds that he suffered at the Master's hands, in conjunction, of course, with the Virgin. But it was the Master who was the puppet master. I don't blame the Virgin per se. I blame, the puppet master, not the puppet. My next destination was the gray home planet. As I found myself soaring over the area that I usually pop up, which is right around the equator area, so I headed north again, back to where I saw my friend. And this time I landed, and I approached a couple of grays who were a little shy, but you could tell they knew who I was. And I said that I was looking for my friend, who was the head of this installation, who I call Ken. And they signaled him, and after a couple of minutes, he appeared and greeted me very warmly. Once again, with a firm handshake, which I still have a hard time getting used to when I'm doing it with a creature from a completely different culture. But his mind was open. He gave me a warm greeting, and I said thank you once again for welcoming me to your agricultural facility here. And that we started talking. I asked him if we could just take a walk, and we started walking through the facility. And as I said before, there are hundreds and hundreds of these circular type greenhouses that are constantly lightening and darkening various panes, and also moving to intersect the sun based on where it is or shut it out at different times. My guess is it's all computerized to grow the most efficient crop of their whatever that fungus is that they eat. Let's call it mushrooms. That's probably the closest earth term I can think of. And I asked him if he was aware of the upcoming peace negotiations. He indicated that he did, and I tried to probe in his mind, but I hit a wall. I couldn't tell. I was looking for what he thought about the process, but I couldn't. Either it was too alien for me, or I couldn't get past his wall to figure out what he really thought. But I then decided to ask him, I hear that you indicated to me that you weren't always in this position, that you used to visit Earth. He said, yes, that's true. I said, I heard that you were in a higher level in that exploration force. And he admitted that he was. And the way he admitted that he was, it's strange. He didn't show modesty, but he didn't show arrogance or pride either. It was just a matter of fact response. All he was doing was agreeing that yes, that was a fact, but he didn't show the type of emotions that I would expect to get from a human, who might show pride or arrogance or even a little bit of shyness or whatever, talking about a high position, for instance. No, he said, yes, that's true. I said, so you do have an effect on operations here on the planet. And he said, yes, I am a member of our ruling council, and I can certainly share my views on any topic. And I said, okay, that's great. I'd like to discuss with you the upcoming peace negotiations. Am I correct in assuming that you might be attending with all of the gray forces at this peace conference? He said yes, he had planned to do so. The council and all of the Gray's military forces would be there to support the peace process. And I said, okay, I understand. Will you be meeting with the council in the near future? And he said, yes. In a solar cycle, there was going to be a meeting in preparation for their travel to the particular conference. I said, well, I'd like to have a little conversation with you, if you don't mind. I have a few thoughts on how the Greys might want to handle this particular peace negotiations. Anyway, that is the video, and I understand it's not an exciting one, but I think it's very typical of the current mood that I'm experiencing that is happening right now. We're not at peace, but we're not at war actively. There's this weird armistice, this weird calm. Some people think it might be a calm before peace. Others think it might be a calm before the storm. At any rate, we'll see, because soon enough we're going to be attending a peace conference with my old friend, the Master. And I'm not really looking forward to seeing him again. Well, if you liked that episode, please hit the like button, share it with those of like minds, subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, make sure that bell's on. Please, I'd love your questions and your comments. What do y'all think about this whole peace negotiation thing? Am I being too negative? I do have a tendency at times to be a little on the pessimistic side, especially with individuals whom I don't trust. So what do you think? Let me know. And as always, this is Rick, and I will see you on the astral plane.